Bung belly and Goventin. I is here at the most famous sign in the world. The Los Angeles sign. Los Angeles weren't always run by the honky. Before that, it was home to a tribe of Red Indians called the Jeep Cherokees. There's been enough problems over the years in this place. In 1991, there was a massive earthquake in it. No one knows who was responsible for it, but enough people seem to blame the same bloke and say that it was Sam Andreas's fault. If you was watching this now, Sam, listen up. I know you is tired of hearing everyone blame you, but you can't run forever, brother. There ain't no life. Come forward and give yourself in. Check out my show, Everton Chris.
Telepathy.
Yo, boom, boom, shake the mofo room. I is here with the main man of medicine, his name BC Everett Coop. So all you lot out there need to listen up, because you is as likely to be killed by an illness as you is by a drive-by. So let's talk about the human body, because after all, everyone has got one of them. So we is meant to believe. How important is the heart?
The heart is the pump that makes the blood take all the things that you need nutritionally to all parts of your body.
Why is the actual heartbeat so old-fashioned? You know, boom, 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 boom.
That's a built-in mechanism in the heart that is, it's electrical.
But surely, like, my homies out there would be more into looking after their heart if they had a beat that they could relate to, like a kind of drum and bass, you know. Then they would look after it and go, yo, this is me heart, respect it.
No, you're way off base there.
But why can't we use technology and, let's say, take out some of the bit, with all respect, boring organs and stick in like a CD player and like wicked speakers? You're like booming out. It's like a walking sound system. That would be wicked, man.
It would be wicked is what you say. It would be impossible is a better word.
Well, what about sticking a mobile phone in there? Surely there's space for that.
You just don't know what you're talking about. What do you think would happen to your body with the cell phone in there?
Well, it'll be able to answer calls and all that kind of thing.
No, you'd start to bleed, you'd start to get infection, and before long, if nobody intervened, you'd be dead.
What is the brain?
The brain is the thing that you have to have. Without the brain, nothing else works.
Is the brain's memory any good?
The brain's memory is perfect.
So how come I can't remember my PIN number?
Well,
I think it's got like a 4 in it.
I could give you a quick answer and say you're stupid, you know.
Well, that obviously ain't the real reason.
Well, it's the beginning of truth.
Does all of us really have bones, or is it just what the media want us to believe?
You all have bones.
We know this is a generalization, but why is all skeletons involved in evil stuff?
That's just, skeletons are the last thing that disappear.
How fast do bones grow?
They grow very remarkably until you're a certain age, and then when you go through puberty, bones stop growing in length.
How come some bones can grow in like a few seconds, like a few inches?
That can't happen.
But how come the dong bone can,
It's not a bone.
It is a bone, isn't it?
No, it isn't a bone.
But it does grow well quickly. I've got like 11 girls, or I can prove it. They can give you written evidence.
It's not bone.
Here it is. Yes. Here it is, boy.
Do you reckon it's ever okay to end someone's life?
No. I do not.
But like with my cat, when him had a broken leg, we took him to the vet.
Your cat is not a human being.
Well, my cat was a human being.
No, please don't confuse me. Your cat was not a human being. Nobody in the world believes a cat is a human being.
Yeah, but it had human feelings, though.
No, he doesn't have human feelings.
It was sad sometimes.
I'm sure it's sad.
It was sad when they had to book at it because of the leg. Let's talk about a big thing. Death. D-E-F. I was talking about the thing that happens to you, you know, a few weeks after you was alive. That's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't spell it that way, though. It's D-E-A-T-H.
So what is the chances that me will eventually die?
That you will die? 100%. I can guarantee that 100%. You will die.
Right, he was being a bit of a pessimist there.
No, I'm being an absolute realist.
I didn't realize he was a player hater. I'd like to get a second opinion on that.
There is nobody that I know who has a mind and a brain who doesn't know that everybody will die.
I like to think that 4 out of 5 people is definitely going to have the death thing happen to them. 1 out of 5. God bless. Keep going. Keeping it strong. Oh.
You will eventually find you're wrong.
Keep it real. Yo, big up yourself.
Hello, Chinkui. I come here to learn etiquette in Deep South with Helen, who professor of etiquette.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Should you be polite to all?
Yes.
Should you be polite to prostitute?
Well, yes, because, you know, that's what they do.
Yes. How much is polite to tip them?
To tip,
Yes.
usually it's 10%.
Yes.
In some places, in
For
some
handle
places,
with-
it's 20%.
For-
It varies.
For with the
Yes,
vagine.
but it is always proper to tip.
Will you teach me, please, how to be a menace?
Yes, sir, I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You say how to talk to people with different personality.
Right. We also have a doll person.
Like my wife.
Well, what you need to do is think of
She's
things.
boring.
But what you need to do is think about things to help her not be boring.
It is like
Maybe-
doing it with my sister.
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, is she boring just sitting and having dinner with?
Yes.
Well, then you need to think of things that you can talk about. Maybe she's boring because you haven't done enough with her.
I do
bring-
everything. I try in the kitchen. I do it every way. We look at the DVD. We try to make it ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Elsa McDowell, this is Borat,
Hello.
and this is
How
Sims.
do you do?
Sims McDowell played.
Dziękuję.
Hello, I'm George Thurman.
Hello. Borat Sadir. Can I talk about what I did last night?
Well, it depends on what you did last night. Is it something personal that maybe makes someone feel embarrassed or uncomfortable?
No. Last night, I had a sex.
I beg your pardon?
Mistake.
I had with a woman from Gambia. I do
Oh. In America, we don't discuss that.
But she was a nice high five. She was.
You're in trouble, George.
Can I talk about my hobbies?
Sure. It's a wonderful thing to talk about. Again, that's getting to know a person.
Do you like a porno?
No.
This is such an interesting conversation.
But why? In Kazakhstan now, after communism, we have a lot of porno. I like it. I like a shaving pussy. Should I talk about my family?
Sure. I would share good things about your family.
My sister, she is a prostitute.
That's sad.
What?
Why is she a prostitute?
She like to make money. High five. She like to come to US and A. She can stay with you.
We'd have to see.
She is good.
I know the answer to that.
What if I make a smell? Should I say is me?
No, you don't make it obvious, but if you feel like that maybe people are looking at you like, you just say, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
There is a smell.
Like
It smells like a shit.
Yes. It does.
We say a pat. When you do a pat, when you squeeze a bad smell from the whole you do a pat.
That's right.
There also are wonderful flowers that
I can do a big pat. You want that try?
I've done it.
they have great.
You want that try to do a pat?
No.
I can do.
I'm doing that. Who cannot?
You want I
Might
can
be
do?
that no.
Can you make yourself do it?
I have one. I have one. You want?
No.
Barack, don't do it.
It is coming.
We're waiting.
No, we're not.
You want?
No.
You want? I can do. Put your hand close.
No.
Dziękuję.
Okay.
You are a fat. You are a fat. He's a fat.
I'm fat. Big fat. That's why I said.
You are tiny. It'll squash you when you do sex. Easing up. Sex. You has all heard the words. Probably enough of you out there is done it. So, what is pornography?
I think pornography sends a very dangerous message to society. I think it lies about sex.
What did you think?
Well, I mean, I enjoy watching it myself. I mean,
doubt.
of course, you know, a lot I feel is the parents, because of course you have to be 18 before you enter these sites.
That's
you know,
right.
there's a written,
Oh, no.
Yeah, she's right.
there's a
there.
written statement there saying, yes, I'm 18. I mean, I see these
That's-
young girls.
Whoa, let her finish.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm seeing like young girls, 12, 13, and I'm thinking they're 18, you know.
For the men in this business, how important is it, the size of the warrior?
It's not really the size. You know, I've worked with quite large men, and I've worked with smaller men.
Because I've got a massive one, you know, but what does you say to people out there with small ones? Not me.
No, it's
Or
just,
quite
you know,
opposite.
of course, the saying is not how large, it's how you use it.
Why does you think it is that you ain't had sex with someone yet? Do you think it is because you was too shy or because you was aiming for honeys out of your league?
No.
Do you think it's because of the confidence?
No.
That
No.
you don't
No.
have the
No.
chance to go up to ladies
No.
and say, let's do it?
No. I do not believe that sex with multiple partners should be the normal standard in our society.
So what you were saying is you actually is trying not to have sex.
Basically, what I'm attempting to do is not allow sex to come to the forefront of my life.
Does you think the age at which you can have sex is at the right level?
For most states in this country, the age of consensual sex is usually around 16 or 18.
All right. Virgin, does you think that it's at the right age?
Well, but I think the difficulty is the issue that, you know, we're wired to have sex pretty young.
How old can I
I was 18 when I lost my virginity.
How old was you? Obviously, I ain't asking you because you was a virgin, right? I was like, I think about 10 or something. I was with this model from Italy who was 28. It is illegal for people to have sex below the age of 16. Should it be illegal to have sex above the age of something like 50?
No, I wouldn't want it to be illegal to have sex above the age of 50 for personal reasons.
But like a couple of years ago, me had a really bad experience and me walked in on me nana. She was actually doing it like 69 with Uncle Derek, her boyfriend Uncle Derek, who ain't me real uncle. And it was like, I felt sick. It was like
But the way
walnuts in a sock. How can that be right?
No, you learn to knock before you go into Nana's bedroom.
No, but then it happened, they did it in the living room as well.
Well, that's irresponsible if, you know, for parents to do that when there are their children around or anyone else.
So let's just have one word to sum up your position.
Let's say commitment.
Virgin?
Nobility.
Jesus.
Safety.
Your mine is peace. So let's try and do that into something. Peace. Your nobility. Yeah. Check it. 'Cause Jesus in it is
commitment.
Commitment.
Okay.
Peace. Just thought that out. Just like that. Because I didn't know what your words was going to be beforehand. That just was at the top of my head.
Okay.
Think about Hitler. You know, he was from Austria. I mean, do you think he had good style?
Everybody's uniform looked exactly perfect. There was never out of style.
I mean, he had style and he had a message, a bit like Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, I guess he did have a message.
So, if Jesus were alive today, where would he shop?
Jesus would probably shop on Melrose, actually. We've got a lot of shops that actually have long, cool get-up, yet still have that back-to-earth kind of feeling.
Sure. And what about Gandhi? Where would he shop?
Gandhi was a minimalist. I'd say probably he would shop downtown. Downtown, there's just a lot of fabric stores, and I think he would just go into his shop and buy a piece of fabric, tie it with a rope, and he'd be fine.
What is Jonathan Antin?
What is Jonathan Antin? Man, I'm a troubled, crazy maniac that has a lot of feelings and a lot of emotion and a lot of craziness.
Look at the evil people in the world. Saddam Hussein, Hitler, Stalin, what they all have in common? Mustaches.
There's quite a few Middle Easterners that look like him with that kind of mustache that are not totally crazy.
Yeah, there are a few people with mustaches who aren't totally crazy.
Absolutely.
But most of them,
they're a little
experience it.
They're a little weird.
Is it a coincidence that all the good people have long hair, like Jesus and like hippies and, you know, Rod Stewart, whatever.
Sure. I've done Rod Stewart's hair for a long time. I'll be really honest with you.
Sure.
I'm very impressed that you've brought these issues up because I've thought of them a couple of times in my career, but I've never heard anyone else ever address them except for you.
Thanks.
Never.
That means a lot. Thank you.
I gotta tell you, man, that's like, did you write all this shit? Did you
Yeah, I've just been thinking of this shit.
Dude, that's so heavy because I've always wondered why.
Yeah, because it's crazy. Why all the good
Jesus
people,
and Moses. And, you know, when they show pictures of God.
Yeah,
they all have long hair. You know, they didn't care so much about their look. They wore wraps. They grew their hair long.
Just say something controversial into the camera.
You in the Middle East, God help you if I ever come over there, because I'll take all you out.